Hey everyone, welcome back to another Ross review. This week on the show, I'm standing next to the 2012 FPV. This, of course, is an FG MK2 GT, and this houses the legendary Coyote engine. This is a 5-liter supercharged V8, and this has got to be one of the craziest Ford sedans you'll ever see. That's right, everyone. Today we're standing next to the 2012 FPV FG MK2 GT. Now I know that is a super complicated name, but I assure you this car is as simple as it gets. This really is a no-frills Aussie muscle car, and this thing is just so cool. Now I do got to say a huge thank you to Car Giant WA for allowing me to take this out today. This is actually listed for sale, so if you're after a new car, please check them out. I'll leave a link for them in the description below. So let's get into this straight away, pop this bonnet, and see what's actually powering this thing. Now in here, this is where the heart of the beast lies. This is the 5-liter supercharged V8. This is the Coyote engine. Now this is actually an American sourced engine. So FPV gets the block from America, then they hand build this thing, build it right up to how you see it today, and this thing just looks so good. You've got the Harp supercharger right in the middle of the V, and wow, does it look muscular. This says Bosch 335 on the top there. Now that actually translates to the kilowatt output. So 335 kilowatts translates to 450 horsepower from factory. This thing also pumps out 420 pound-foot of torque and will do 0 to 100 in about 5 seconds. This thing is rear-wheel drive. You could have optioned it as a 6-speed manual or ZF auto like we have in this one, and I can't wait to get this thing out. Now just coming down to the wheels, we've got 19-inch alloy rims. They look okay in my eyes. I think they could have been nicer, and I would have liked to have seen 20s, to be honest, because there is a bit of a gap in here, and it would have been nice to sort of fill that up a bit more, just give it a bit more of an aggressive look. But on a good note, behind the rim here, we do have 4-pot Brembos up front, which is really nice on a car like this. Now, just having a good look at this car, you may think to yourself, well, it actually doesn't look all that sporty considering what's under the bonnet. And in some ways, I'll agree with you on that. This thing is based off your standard FG family Australian sedan. And, you know, besides the wheels, a spoiler, and some stickers on the side, you know, it really does look like one. But I think that's kind of the point as well here. Now, if you don't know about FPV, FPV is basically the AMG equivalent to Ford Australia. So FPV receives these cars as their normal boring shape from Ford, and they completely strip them out and build them right up. Most of these cars are all limited, and they all have excessive internal work done. So these things may look similar, but let me tell you, they're worlds different. And all you need to do is start it up and listen to it to know that. All right, so inside the FPV GT now, this really does look like a standard FG interior besides upgraded seats. These have beautiful leather seats with some Alcantara on the side here. You've got an actual GT badge embroidered in there as well. Really nice seats, super comfortable, and they actually do have a nice bit of bolstering as well. Now, another upgrade here over the standard FG would be a red engine start button, which is really nice. Now you do have to still put the key in the ignition and turn it on, but it is still kind of cool, you know, to push that, and gives it a little bit more of a sporty feel. It does. Now another thing here you'll notice is it actually has a build number along with the GT badge there. So this is build number 979. So that's a nice touch as well, just to give it a little bit more of a unique, special feel, I think. Now just coming down to the gear selector here, this is the 6-speed automatic one. So this got the ZF gearbox. It's really good, really strong. I would have liked to have seen this as the manual. They do come out with a 6-speed manual, and obviously that would be my preferred choice. You do have a standard handbrake. I always love to see these. I cannot stand the electric one, so that is bonus there. Now just going over the center console, exactly how you would find in an FG. Very basic. This does have an 8-inch touchscreen up the top. Again, very, very basic. If you had upgraded to the GTF or GTP model, you would have actually got navigation as well. This does not have navigation, which is unfortunate. But on a positive note, most importantly as well, this does have Bluetooth audio, so you can sync your phone up to this. And it also does have a USB charger and a standard 3mm auxiliary in the glove box, so that is good. Now just in general on this interior, I say this about most of the Fords I get into, they really do lack on interior quality and design. They really seem to put all their time in the engine and what's underneath the car, which is good, but you know, you spend a lot of time in here, you kind of want it to be a bit nicer. This being an FPV though, it is nice. You know, you got nice seats in here, and the door trim even is nicer. You know, you got some Alcantara on the side of the door trim down here as well, which is nice. But in saying that, you know, Holden and HSV, they just do a better job. But in the rear, 3 large rear seats like any Falcon would have. You know, can fit 3 adults easily back here, plenty of space. And they're done in this beautiful kind of same material as up in the front seat, so very nice back there. All right, guys, so driving this 2012 FPV FG MK2 something. This name is ridiculous. It should have a lot simpler of a name, but anyways, this car is a beast, and I absolutely love FPV. Anything they touch just is always so good. Foot into it. Holy Jesus! Oh my goodness! Yeah, there's a bit of wheel spin even there. Oh, wow! This thing with that supercharger, it just feels like it's just going and going and going and going, and there's like no break in between. Like, and the gear just felt so long there. It just felt like it was just so consistent power. Now in the driving position, I absolutely love these seats. Really comfy seats. They do hug you quite nicely. They are tailored for a larger person, like all Australian cars are, but nevertheless, these are really nice, and the wheel feels superb as well. Really chunky, nice grip. One negative, I guess, about the driving position is that you are a little bit high. I'm dropped down as far as I can go here, and I still feel like I am quite high. Can still see a lot of bonnet in that, but some people may like that. It'd be nice to have a little bit more control there is all. Let's give it a nice little shot here. Holy! I've driven this car for probably like 30 minutes before I actually turned the cameras on, and that was probably one of the most surprising launches I've had there. I don't know if I just hit the sweet spot or if I just fully committed that time, but wow, that just instantly dropped down and just hooked up straight away, threw me straight in the back of the seat, and wow, that is like the personality of this car is it's crazy, because you get kind of used, especially in this automatic 6-speed here. This is a really good transmission, but when it's in auto, you know, it's just kind of docile. It's just cruising around. You know, it's fairly comfortable actually, and you kind of forget that you've got so much power on tap until you do what I just did there. Like, you'll be driving around, it's quiet in here, it's soft, it's comfortable, and then you put your foot into it and it's just like, whoa, like the engine just explodes, the thing just throws you right in the back of the seat, and it's like, this thing is off. And wow, yeah, wow, that'll wake anyone up, I guarantee you that. All right, so let's get into the 5 questions here. Now, sound. Well, this thing does sound pretty nice. Like, even when you just rev it in the parking lot, it does give off a nice bark. You know, you even get some crackles in there. So this thing does actually have a bimodal exhaust, so it's got flaps in there that will really only open up on hard acceleration. So when you're just cruising around, this thing is super quiet, a little bit too quiet, honestly, for my liking. But when you actually put your foot into her, she opens up, and it does sound bloody good, especially that supercharger whine. It's really noticeable in the cabin, and I'm so happy for that. It really does make a big difference. I love, love, love that sound. Now, handling. So just pulling it around this corner here, you do get some body roll. You know, there is no sort of adjustable dampers or anything in this car, but you know, for a large car, this thing weighs in at over 1,800 kg, so it is a larger car. It does surprisingly well for a car of this size. You know, to me, it really does feel similar to you know, a typical Holden or older HSV. But you know, you do have boat-like characteristics, I'm not gonna lie. You know, when you move the steering, it does sway a lot. And the steering, although it is fairly responsive, it is a little bit soft. It's not as direct or sharp as you would like, but you know, this car is a little bit older, still is a 2012, so I can't harp on about it too much. I will say though, for handling, just for being a daily driver or, you know, driving this regularly, it is quite comfortable in here. The ride is not overly harsh. It's actually quite nice. And with these seats, you really hardly feel the road at all, honestly. Now, practicality. Practicality is pretty strong in this car because, you know, it is a 4-door saloon. You can comfortably sit 5 adults in here, like all good Aussie sedans. And, you know, it's got a large boot. Now, practicality for fuel consumption is definitely not very good. This thing gets, I believe, 13.7 liters to 100 Ks, and that's combined fuel economy. If you're gonna drive it like it should be, yeah, it's best to just forget about the fuel bill because it's gonna cost you a lot. Now, price. This thing from new would have cost just over 71 grand, and to be fair, I think that was pretty good value back in the day. You know, if you compared this to any of the German rivals or, you know, even some of the HSV counterparts, they were well and truly in the 80s, 80 plus K mark. And any of the German stuff, well, you know, if you don't have 6 figures, good luck. So for how much power this actually gave you, I think around that 70 grand mark was pretty good value. Now, on the used market, these things do vary, obviously depending on condition and Ks. For good examples, I would say, you know, the average going rate's probably around that 40 to 50 grand mark. This one is for sale at Car Giant WA. This is probably one of the nicest ones I've seen. It's in pristine condition. It's got 41,000 kilometers on it, and this is for sale for 47,000. So if you're interested, there will be a link in the description below. These cars honestly are collector pieces, so the value of these is only gonna go up. All right, now 0 to 100 impressions here, guys. I've got it in performance mode. Just going to launch this thing, I guess, as much as I can and see how quickly she gets up there. So 3, 2, 1. $100. All right, well. Well, on initial launch, it just spun the tires, so you had to ease off of it, and that lost a lot of time. So, not the fastest launch right there, but yeah, if you can balance that brake pedal and gas pedal at the same time, you can pull 5-second launches. So that one was a bit slower, but man, even once it started building up RPM again, whew, like it was just... Now, people who know about FPV know about this Coyote engine. This thing is a powerhouse for sure, and is capable of so much power. Even just a stock one like this, like we said, you know, this thing pumps out 450 horsepower as it sits right now. Literally, if you just get a high flow exhaust and tune it, you will easily get over 540 rear wheel horsepower, and that's all you had to do. Like, this thing is just a monster of an engine, and it's kind of restricted just in its natural form right now. Like, open her up and this thing will scare the crap out of just about anyone. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish the video off here today. Huge thanks to Car Giant WA for allowing me to take this FPV GT out today. This thing was just awesome. What a cool Australian muscle car, and I'm so glad I could share it with you guys today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick review. If so, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new here, and we'll see you on that next video.